Well, I'm joined now by the Labour MP, Rushanara Ali. She campaigned for Britain to remain in the European Union and is a part of a group of MPs who support a people's vote, essentially a second referendum. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. So when we come to all of the amendments later on today, many of the opposition amendments are what MPs are going to get to vote on first. Which ones will you support and why?
Well, I've added my name to the Yvette Cooper amendment, Dominic Grievance amendment, Jack Dromey, and also Rachel Reeves' amendment. These are the Labour MP who are working cross-party with other MPs to get those amendments through. And the reason is because I think it's really important we rule out no deal, because that is catastrophic for our economy. And the second thing is it's important that we have some additional time, which is what the Yvette Cooper amendment is seeking, so that Parliament has the opportunity to identify the most support for a way forward, because the current deal, the Prime Minister's deal, as you know, has been voted down, and we need time to make sure that happens. It would be irresponsible for us to have a situation that the Prime Minister's put in where it's either her deal, which has failed to get support, or crashing out. That is irresponsible, and it's costing £4 billion to prepare for no deal.
You're a Remain supporter, sure. And hand on heart then, when you cast your votes later on today, will your priority be trying to derail Brexit and the path it's on right now, or will it be simply to support perhaps delaying Brexit?
You know, I think that it's wrong to present it that way, because when the referendum result came out, although I was bitterly disappointed, as the 48% of the country were, it was really important for the Prime Minister to bring the country together, and she should have done that by reaching out across party right at the beginning of her premiership.
She has tried to reach out, and Jeremy Corbyn, your boss, has said no.
You'll see from the evidence of the dialogue she's had with other parties, she's not given an inch. That is not building cross-party support. That is basically repeating the Maybotic line that she has taken for some years now without listening. Even though she's faced this massive defeat, she is still ignoring Parliament. Her ministers, her Chancellor, all ignoring Parliament and carrying on as if they didn't lose that vote on her deal. And that is the reality of what's happening in our country. And this is a Prime Minister who's holding the Parliament and the country to ransom.
The alternative to this Prime Minister would potentially be a Labour government and Jeremy Corbyn as Prime Minister. He certainly has said all along that his first preference would be to have a general election, and yes, for Labour to take the reins, presumably, of Brexit as well. Is Labour, though, united? Because when we started talking, you listed all of the amendments and all of the many Labour amendments.
Labour has set out its decision to support those amendments.
But there's not just one amendment that the whole party seems to be able to come...
They're not inconsistent, actually, with our position of wanting to see no deal being ruled out, and that's why Labour has set out its reasons for supporting those amendments, including the Cooper amendment. So I don't
Jeremy Corbyn would support the Cooper amendment as well?
Absolutely. The party has set out its position, and we will support it, because it's irresponsible to leave no deal on the table and not provide space for the government with Parliament to try and get some time to avoid no deal and try and settle this. Now, personally, I would much rather, as I'm sure many other MPs would have done, Parliament was able to settle it. But you can't do that with a Prime Minister who's interested in protecting her job and her party unity over the interests of the country. That's why we are in this mess.
Just finally, how concerned are you about the Brady Amendment and the fact that it seems like, at least from the murmurings and from the WhatsApp groups that are going around,
sure,
that various sides of the Tory party, the Conservatives, could actually come together and support this one and save the Prime Minister?
Well, this is about the Tory party trying to protect their own jobs, their own party unity over and above the interests of the country. But what that amendment would do is potentially tear up peace in Northern Ireland. They are prepared to compromise anything, including our national security and peace in Northern Ireland, in the interest of keeping their jobs and keeping their party together.
Said that the Good Friday Agreement would be protected.
Well, I don't think so. And the EU 27 today have all unanimously said they will not be renegotiating the EU withdrawal agreement that they have agreed. Least of all, not least because they are putting the interests of peace in Northern Ireland before this government, and that is desperately disappointing that our government is prepared to risk peace in Northern Ireland for party unity and the pursuit of power and remaining in power. That is not in the national interest.
We thank you very much for joining us here on CNN. Thanks very much indeed.